Ito na mga kababayan, yung official candidates ng partido or administration party. Ito yung bagong Pilipinas slate. Ayan po mga kababayan, Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas Convention 2024. Sabi dyan, Marcos announces admin senatorial lineup for halalan 2025. So yan po mga kababayan ang magiging official candidates na endorse ng ating Pangulong Bongbong. DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos, Makati Mayor Abi Binay, Senator Pia Cayetano.
Nagpapagang mga balita at pagtalakay sa mga isyu ng lipunan. Bulsa! Opinyon, banat at paglalantad sa katotohanan. Bulsa! What you see is what you get. You decide.
Former Senator Ping Lacson, Senator Lito Lapid, Senator Amy Marcos, former Senator Manny Pacquiao, Senator Bong Revilla, former Senate President Tito Soto, Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino, Congressman Erwin Tulfo ng ACT-CIS, then House Deputy Speaker Camille Villar. Pili na po kayo kung alin dyan. Sa mga nasa administration candidates po, ako, isa pa lang po ang napupusuan ko dyan, si DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos. Pag-aralan ko pa kung sino-sino pa dito sa mga in-endorse ng ating Pangulo ang pwede po na isama natin po sa ating ikakampanya dito sa ating programa. Matagal pa naman po ang eleksyon. Next year pa man, May 2025. So, we still have time na kilatisin po. Bakit niya, Mr. Maravillas, hindi mo ubusin na iboboto yung mga in-endorse ng ating Pangulo? Buti na po itong tayo mismo yung kakaliskis. Baka matulad po kay Inday. Matapos na manalo mga kababayan, hindi lang napagbigyan ng confidential funds, inaway-away na po yung ating Pangulo. Mahirap na po. At talagang malamang, hindi lahat ng endorse ng ating Pangulong Bongbong ay iboboto po natin. Siguro pili din tayo ng mga candidates from other parties para po pang check and balances. Importanteng may nagche-check pa rin mga kababayan. And that is the essence of democracy. Kasi hindi naman maganda na lahat amen na ng amen. Tama pa. Importante pa rin may tagapuna mga kababayan. Ayaw na natin kasi na may matulad pa kay Inday, nakakadala. O ngayon, ayaw magtrabaho. Masino na pa yung pagbulakbol kaysa i-defend yung kanyang ang kanyang budget at magpaliwanag po sa congressional investigation. Yon ang ating pag-uusapan mga kababayan. Kasi sumagot na si Inday sa panawagan na mag-resign siya. Ang sabi, hindi niya ako alis. But before natin mga kababayan pag-usapan yung mga isyong yan, click subscribe muna dito sa ating YouTube channel and hit the notification bell para lagi po kayong updated sa mga kaganapan dito sa ating bansa. Like and share na rin po ninyo ng ating video at wag na rin po ninyo na skip yung ating mga commercial ads para tuloy-tuloy lang ang pag-unlad ng Bagong Pilipinas. Balikan natin mga kababayan si Inday. Di daw siya alis. Sabi niya BP Sara responds to resignation calls. Hindi ako alis dito. Sabi kasi po ni Congressman, ako Bicol Congressman Jill Bungalon, kung hindi na siya interesado niya, ayaw naman mag-function sa kanyang trabaho bilang Vice Presidente. So pwede na niya tayo na manawagan na mag-resign na lang siya. Hindi niya ako alis dito. Sabi po din dahil sa press con kahapon, ibinutuan niya ako ng 32 million Filipinos. Wala na po yung 32 million Filipinos na bumoto sa inyo. Mga kulang-kulang 1 million na lang po. Kasi yung mga Marcos supporters, Marcos loyalists na 31 million plus, nag-withdraw na po ng support sa inyo. Kaya nga takot ka na mag-endorse. Hindi, wala daw siya i-endorse mga kababayan. Among yung mga candidates nila. Kasi ang tutok niya ngayon, yung problema niya sa Office of the Vice President, under investigation kasi siya ng Congress, ng Committee on full story ng balitang yan. Click subscribe muna dito sa ating YouTube channel and hit the notification bell para lagi po kayong updated sa mga kaganapan dito sa ating bansa. Like and share na rin po ninyo ang ating video. At huwag na rin po ninyo na skip yung ating mga commercial ads para tuloy-tuloy lang ang pag-unlad ng Bagong Pilipinas. Sa mga nagana po ng malinis and spacious fitness gym, pumunta lang po kayo sa aming Colossal Fitness Gym. We also offer Grab Car Rental with our brand new 2023 model ng Toyota Innova. We also accept booking for those who are planning to travel via PAL, Cebu Pacific, and other airline companies, local and international, and bills payment for Meralco Bills, Aleco Bills, PLDT, etc. Ang Colossal Fitness Gym is located at 3rd floor Security Bank Building, Lanco Business Park, Legazpi City, Albay. For inquiries, look for Gilon Maravillas, contact number 0966-802-0949. Yan po yung aming Innova. Lagi na pong matao sa amin. Yan po mga bagong clients namin. Napakaganda at colorful at napakalinis ng aming gym po. Pati mga foreigners po pumupunta sa amin, mga British tourist po sila dito sa Legazpi. Na-set up na rin po yung aming mga brand new gym equipment. May treadmill na rin po kami. Ito naman po yung bago naming product na binibenta online. Eye Glow Serum, whitening po siya. Tingnan ninyo yung epekto sa aking anak na architect before and now. Yung mga inquiries po ninyo, dumiretso na lang kayo sa kanyang Facebook account, Riz Maravillas. Ito naman po, Firmax Firming and Lifting Cream, pinapahid po sa mga pulses and affected area. Mainam po sa paninigas ng mga kaso-kasuan. Ito naman po, Automax Radiant Serum. Sa mukha naman yung application, anti-aging po siya. You will look 10 years younger than your age. Sa mga cancer patients naman po, baka lang gusto ninyo itong itry. Neng siya red mixed fruit drink. Hindi mo po siya gamot, food supplement siya. Kaya lang, gawa siya mga kababayan sa goji berry. Yung goji berry may anti-cancer properties. O ngayon, yung mga inquiries ninyo, dumiretso na lang kayo sa aming messenger sa Facebook para masagot namin agad. Ayos pa? Ayos na ayos niya, Mr. Maravilla. Committee on Good Governance and Public Accountability. Nag-warning na po si Martin Romualdez. Sabi ni Martin, kadiliman, kasamaan, House won't allow that, says Romualdez. Hindi niya papaintulutan po daw ang kadiliman at kasamaan. Tapos, malinaw na patama po ito ni Martin Romualdez doon sa mga kampo ng kadiliman. Kampo ng kasamaan. Iwas pusit sa investigasyon. Sinampula na po ng Congress yung kaalyado niya, si Congressman Marcoleta. Alis dyan, Marcoleta stripped of 5 Juicy House panel membership in one day. Tanggal yung kaalyado ni Inday, yung defender ni Inday sa Congress. Tinanggalan po ng committee membership. Yung sabi dito, Sagip Party List Representative Rolando Marcoleta cannot seem to catch a break in a chamber where Solon's status is reflected by the number and quality of committee memberships that he or she has. Marcoleta has been stripped of his membership from not 1 but 5 juicy committees sa Congress, mga kababayan. And this is all happened during plenary session Wednesday night, September 25, or just before the House kick off its 6-week recess. Deputy Majority Leader Iloilo City Lone District Representative Jam Baronda stood in the plenary to nominate Manila Teachers Party List Representative Virginia Lacson to the Commission on Appointments or CA, as well as the Committees on Energy, Justice, Public Accounts, and Constitutional Amendments. So siya mga kababayan ang ipinalit kay Marcoleta. It was hardly a week ago when Marcoleta was also removed as Vice Chairman of the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. He also lost his regular membership at the panel as a result. Nag-abogado kasi po si Marcoleta kay Inday doon po sa investigation kung paano ginamit ni Inday yung kanyang confidential funds sa DepEd po na ginagawa yung investigation ng Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability chaired by Congressman Joel Chua ng Maynila. Ayun, tanggal agad po. Diba? Alis dyan. Sabi kasi po ni Martin Romualdez, hindi natin ito tolerate. House won't allow kadiliman at kasamaan. Kaya tuloy-tuloy po ang investigasyon kay Inday kasi pinadiliman yung milyon-milyon na kwarta ng bayan po. Pero hindi niya ako magre-resign. Ibinotoan niya ako ng 32 milyon. O ngayon, kung hindi siya magre-resign, baka siya ma-impeach. Yung militant group, mga kababayan, nagda-draft na po ng impeachment case. O ito ngayon po ang latest. Bayan, drafting impeachment complaint versus BP Sara Duterte. Sabi po ni Teddy Casino. Sa isang press briefing for Bayan Monas National Convention sa Quezon City, kinonfirm po ni Casino that they will file the impeachment complaint if finalized before the House of Representatives once in session resumes sa November daw po. So, I'll be speaking as chairperson of Bagong Alyansang Makabayan since that was asked, and the different people's organization under Bayan are now studying the possibility of filing an impeachment complaint, and the drafting of the complaint has started, sabi po ni Casino. Kasi yung Congress po is in a break. Kaya nga po, ipinasa na nila kaagad yung ating budget, yung national budget for 2025. O ngayon, kung ituturo ni Inday, mga kababayan, na nasa likod nito si Martin Romualdez at saka yung ating Pangulo, yung kanyang impeachment, yun ang sabi niya sa press con, may nilulutuan niya sila. Pero hindi ko pa niya sasabihin. Ang alam ko niya, si Trillanes, si Risa Ontiveros, tapos itong si Franz Castro. Sabi ko sa inyo mga kababayan, malabo na magpagamit itong mga Makabayan Black kay Martin Romualdez at saka kay President Bongbong Marcos. Kasi po, mga anti-Marcos sila, anti-Marcos Romualdez. Nagkataon mga kababayan na itong anti-Marcos Romualdez, anti-Duterte, mas lalong anti-Duterte sila. Kaya yung sinasabi po ni Inday, nang nasa likod, i-reveal daw niya in due time. Alam na natin kung sino yung ituturo niya. Tama pa? Malamang sa malamang mga kababayan, wala siyang makumbinsi kundi yung mga dati niyang fanatics. Kasi po, yung ipa-file sa kanyang impeachment case, legit po. Kaya ang mas maganda kay Inday, mag-resign ka na lang. Kasi pag na-impeach po kayo, disqualified na kayo na tumakbo kahit punong barangay. Tama pa? Kasi sabi ni Martin Romualdez, hindi nila i-allow yung kasamaan at kadiliman. Yan sabi ni Martin dito. Yan the House of Representatives would not allow lords of kadiliman at kasamaan, darkness and evil to reign over the country, sabi po ni Martin. The Quad Committee niya, which includes the House Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Committee on Public Order and Safety, Committee on Public Accounts, and the Committee on Human Rights. Yung public accounts po yung nag-iimbestiga ngayon kay Inday. And the Committee on Human Rights were assigned to investigate possible correlation between illegal activities in the Philippines offshore gaming operators, the illicit drug trade, and extrajudicial killings in the past administration's drug war. Criminals have no place in our society, and we are leaving no stone unturned to preserve the peace and security in our country. Inuulit ko, walang puwang ang mga kriminal sa ating lipunan. Hindi natin papayagan na magari ang mga Panginoon at alagad ng kadiliman at kasamaan sa ating bansa. According to Romualdez, this shows that the House is not only intent on crafting laws but also to serve as the people's guardian through oversight and investigative functions. Kaya nga po, iniimbestiga na po si Inday ng public accountability, good governance in public accountability. Malinaw ang minsay po ni Martin Romualdez. Ito po yung speech ni Martin, pakinggan po natin. Palakpakan yung mga congressmen po. Di ba? Palakpakan.
Yeah! Yeah! Thank you. Esteemed Deputy Speakers, Honorable Majority Leader, Minority Leader, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today we adjourn the session in high spirits. We have demonstrated once again our legislative efficiency with a succession of significant laws. The House of the People, composed of dedicated public servants, has demonstrated their tireless efforts to strengthen the Philippine economy, broaden the range of public service, and reinforce the nation's trust in our governance. Muli nating pinatunayan na ang malaking kapulungan na ito ay institusyon ng aksyon at pagbabago. Sa bawat batas na ipinasa natin, hindi lamang mga salita ang binitawan natin. Ipinakita natin ang konkretong solusyon para sa pangangailangan ng bawat Pilipino. I congratulate you all, not only for your tremendous understanding of the country's development goals and priorities, but most importantly for translating these goals and priorities to deliver tangible and beneficial changes to our constituents. We matched our words with actions, and we shall persist in our endeavors to attain significant progress. I am proud to emphasize the impressive performance of the House of Representatives to safeguard our nation's interests. You have consistently displayed enthusiasm, fairness, and thorough scrutiny of the budget, which led to the prompt approval of the 2025 General Appropriations Bill on third and final reading. Nagawa natin ang trabaho para busisiin ang 2025 national budget. Natapos natin ito sa takdang oras. Kahit abutin ng umaga, hindi tayo tumigil para masiguro ang nagawa natin ang ating tungkulin. With the eventual approval of the nation's 2025 budget not far behind, the national government is more than ready to finance and implement its future initiatives and flagship projects. We remain true to our objective to pursue an agenda for prosperity and enable every Filipino to directly experience and equitably share in the gains brought by our collective and solid efforts. Since the opening of the 19th Congress, we had persistently advanced and maintained the energy to prove our commitment towards empowering our citizens. Our utmost priority has always been the formulation of vital pieces of legislation aimed at poverty alleviation, agricultural productivity, food security, income growth, human capital development, and increased employment opportunities. Out of the 64 total number of priority measures outlined, in the common legislative agenda for the 19th Congress, 60 have been approved and only 4 remain under deliberation with their respective committees. To break down these numbers 20 have been signed into laws, including the latest Magna Carta of Filipino seafarers. 4 are for the President's consideration, well actually for his signature tomorrow, namely the Anti-Agriculture Economic Sabotage Act, the Value-Added Tax on Digital Transactions, Academic Recovery and Accessible Learning, the ARAL Program Act, and Philippine Self-Reliant Defense Posture Program Act. 5 have been ratified by the Bicameral Conference Committee, namely the Philippine Maritime Zones Act, the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, Create More, Enterprise-Based Education, and the Training Program Act, and the Agricultural Clarification Act, and 1 is now pending with the Bicameral Conference Committee, namely the Blue Economy Act, and 30 have been approved on third reading. As for the 28 LEDAC priority measures for passage, by the end of the 19th Congress, I reported to His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. this morning in the LEDAC's full council meeting that your House of the People have approved 26 out of the 28 priority measures targeted for approval by the end of the 3rd regular session. And we will aim for a 100% completion by end of December 2024, or 6 months ahead of its intended target. Sa madaling salita, natapos natin ang lahat ng trabaho na napakasunduan kasama ng palasyo ang Senado bago matapos ang taon kasalukuyan. Dahil sa ipinakita ninyong kasipagan at dedikasyon sa trabaho, ipinaabot ko po ang taos-pusong pasalamat sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat. From the 28 LEDAC priority measures, only 2 remain pending with the committee. 3 have been enacted into laws, 4 have been transmitted to the Office of the President for signature, 5 bicameral conference committee reports have been ratified, and the rest have been approved on third reading.
Napakasipag ng mga congressmen ba? Very productive.
Once again, these priority measures would be the backbone of the Bagong Pilipinas brand, of the governance in line with the realization of the Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028 and the fulfillment of the 8-point socio-economic agenda under the medium fiscal framework of this administration. During the first quarter of the 3rd regular session, the House also ushered in the passage of 3 important legislative measures. The most recently signed by the President is Republic Act RA number 12021, or the Magna Carta for Filipino seafarers, which recognizes and prescribes the rights and duties of local and overseas Filipino seafarers, promotes their full employment, and ensures equal opportunities in the maritime industry. Congratulations. Next is RA 12019, or the Loss and Damage Fund Board Act, which vests the Loss and Damage Fund Board the juridical personality to enter into contracts and provides a significant advancement in the prolonged and contentious discourse over financing for loss or damage resulting from climate change. Finally, Republic Act 12018, or the Act creating 3 additional Sharia judicial districts and 12 Sharia circuit courts therein. In addition, the House of Representatives was instrumental in the passage of 8 laws of local application, mainly on establishing educational facilities and engineering offices in various legislative districts all over the country. In total, 88 Republic Acts were enacted, 35 of which are of national laws and 53 are local laws. 764 measures approved on third reading are pending action by the Senate, and 291 resolutions were adopted since the opening of the 19th Congress in July 2022. Aside from a number of bills currently pending with the Bicameral Conference Committee, several House bills of national significance that were approved by the House in third reading during the first quarter of the third regular session have been transmitted to the Senate and are currently in the process of discussion. These include measures on Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management System, the operation of motorcycles for hire, the protection of geographical indications for agriculture or natural products, processed products, wines, spirits, or any products of handicraft industry, institutionalization of the career progression system for public school teachers, prohibiting and penalizing the unauthorized practice of law, providing for cheaper and more accessible internet for all, and providing for the modernization of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, among others. This chamber also continued heeding the call of our people in the countryside and made remarkable strides in addressing their immediate concerns. We approved on third reading several local bills aimed at establishing state colleges, national high schools, and technical education and skills development training centers in the country, increasing the bed capacity of city and district hospitals, granting legislative franchises to electric cooperatives, declaring certain areas as ecotourism sites, and establishing extension offices of the Land Transportation Office. Apart from fulfilling our fundamental role as lawmakers, our legislative investigations and oversight function was also on full display. Hindi lamang tayo gumawa ng batas para sa bayan, naging pantay din tayo ng taong bayan para sa kanilang kapakanan. Tuloy-tuloy ang ating ginagawang investigasyon para direktang tugunan ang mga suliranin sa araw-araw na buhay ng mga kapwa nating Pilipino. The committees on dangerous drugs, public order and safety, human rights, and public accounts continue to conduct a comprehensive joint inquiry into several intertwining public issues such as illegal Philippine offshore gambling operators, POGOs, dangerous drugs, extrajudicial killings, EJKs, human trafficking, and human rights violations. The congressional-wide inquiry, now known by our people as the Quadcom, aims to uncover the truth and identify the perpetrators of those illicit activities, obtain justice for the victims and their respective families, and most importantly, to ferret out the deficiencies and flaws in our existing laws and legislate the appropriate remedies. This investigation is a crucial step toward the creation of a blueprint for the formulation of legislative solutions to uphold the rule of law. Criminals have no place in our society, and we are leaving no stone unturned to preserve the peace and security in our country. Inuulit ko, walang puwang ang mga kriminal sa ating lipunan.
Ayun! Walang puwang.
Hindi natin papayaran na maghari ang mga Panginoon at alagad ng kadiliman
Ayaw.
at kasamaan sa ating bansa.
Ayaw! Matindi po.
Esteemed colleagues, our legislative initiatives have brought encouraging results. As reported by the National Economic Development Authority, and I quote, our gross domestic product growth has accelerated to 6.3% in the second quarter, faster than the adjusted 5.8% growth rate recorded in the first quarter of 2024. This significant development brings our real GDP growth to 6% for the first half of the year, keeping us on track to achieve our target growth of 6 to 7% for 2024. We are on our way as one of Asia's best-performing major emerging economies. Among East Asia's economies that have disclosed their second quarter 2024 GDP, we rank just below Vietnam at 6.9%, while leading Malaysia at 5.8%, Indonesia at 5.1%, and China at 4.7%. Also, the country's unemployment rate declined as an offshoot of the bullish growth performance. According to the same NEDA statement, the Philippine Statistics Authority reported that the unemployment rate again reached 3.1% in June 2024, tying our record low in almost 2 decades as the total number of employed persons exceeded 50 million.
O, di ba? Gumanda na yung buhay.
A downward trend in underemployment, indicating the availability of better quality jobs for our people.
May trabaho na po. Maraming trabaho. Bumaba yung unemployment.
During a recent visit to 3 leading public markets in Metro Manila, we personally witnessed that the price of rice has declined to as low as 42 pesos per kilo. This is mainly due to the effective measures implemented by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to lower the prices of rice, establish food supply, and shelter consumers from price fluctuations. One such measure is Executive Order Number 62, signed by President Marcos last June 2024, which led to the reduction of the tariff on imported rice from 35% to 15%. With the impending approval of the amendments to the Anti-Agricultural Economic Sabotage Act, that is for tomorrow, we expect better and more stringent policies to further reduce the prices of our agricultural products. Ladies and gentlemen, we have justifiable reasons to pride ourselves on. Our table of legislative actions is filled with lofty and overlapping accomplishments. However, it is required of us to maintain all these positive gains, if not surpass them. We must invest more in building infrastructure, promote human and social development, restore our ecosystems, protect the environment, adopt new technologies and innovations, and achieve sustainable development. We could only claim genuine victory over our nation's challenges when every Filipino benefits the outcome of our legislative performance and the impact resonates in their lives. Mahigpit ang paala sa ating mahal na Pangulo, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., aanihin natin ang magandang numero sa ekonomiya kung gutom pa ang mga Pilipino. Aanihin ang panlad kung hindi naman pakikinabangan ng ordinaryong mamamayan. On this note, I implore all of you to further highlight your comprehensive understanding of issues at hand and collaborate with compassion, integrity, and a strong commitment to advance the ideals and aspirations of the Filipino people. Allow me to acknowledge the immense contribution of the members of the minority bloc.
Kita mo, in-acknowledge niya yung contribution ng minority.
Their inputs always proved essential for analyzing and addressing the matters deliberated in multiple legislative fora. The protracted discussions brought on by their stance prior to the approval of any piece of legislation were necessary to achieve a balanced and comprehensive evaluation of all issues involved. Let me extend my sincerest gratitude and great appreciation to everyone in this august chamber, including the Secretariat and the secretarial staff, for a job well done. Together, let us continue riding this wave of hard work and rest with the satisfaction that no matter what, we will always succeed. Damo nga salamat, hayo nga tanan, mabuhay ang sapay ng Pilipinas.
O, di ba? Yan ang unifying leader, mga kababayan. Ina-acknowledge niya, kahit yung mga kumontra po sa budget, alam ba ninyo na hindi man bumoto po sa budget yung minority? Tingnan ninyo, si Raul Manuel, si Arlene Brosas, si Franz Castro, yung boto no, 285 nagbotong yes, 3 no. Dapat niya, Mr. Maravillas, no sila sa budget, alisan ng budget yung sweldo ng hindi pa sweldoin kasi nag-no sila. Pero hindi ganun si Martin. In-acknowledge niya yung importance ng minority bloc para may balance po. Pinasalamatan niya, mga kababayan. May check and balance. Napaka-importante yon sa ating demokrasya, mga kababayan. Si Martin Romualdez po is a unifying leader. Gusto ngang tanggalan po ng budget na si Inday, pero sabi ni Martin, okay na niya. Bigyan pa rin ng budget si Inday. May ilang miyembro ng Kongreso na nagmumungkahian niya na bawasan pa ang budget ng Office of the Vice President. Gusto na lang gawing 500 million. Pero naniniwalaan niya ako na mahalaga pa rin magkaroon ng sapat na budget ang Office of the Vice President para magpatuloy sa paglilingkod sa ating mga kababayan. Ang magiging budget para sa OBP ay 733 million na halos kapareho ng budget noong panahon ni Vice President Leni Robredo. Mas mataas pa nga yan, mga kababayan. Sa may utang na loob, mga kababayan, si Inday, kahit laging masasama ang ganyang binibitawang pananalita laban kay Martin. Yan nga ang pinagsususpitsahan na nasa likod ng impeachment move. Malabo na maniwala, mga kababayan, ang ating mga mamamayang Pilipino.